Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz Podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense Todd, and special contributor, Fox 4 sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
That's right, gang. We're back and better than last week, we hope. I don't know about last week. Last week was pretty good.
Yeah.
What's happening in Chiefs Kingdom now there, Hensley, coach? How we doing?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Oh, the band is coming back together. You know what I'm saying? We got our guy coming back, man. Hope like Tyreek Hill comes back. You know what I'm saying? Bring the Jackson, put the Jackson 5 back together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, in case you hadn't noticed from the opening picture there, Patrick Mahomes is coming back. He is coming back, and he will be our quarterback. Will it be September 10th, like Hense says there? We'll see. But no, I mean, I kid because all the news out there right now is the changes in the coaching staff, and everybody that's like, hey, this is great. This is exactly what we needed.
Yep.
And then there's some people out there that are thinking, well, what we really needed was some different perspectives, maybe somebody from outside the Coach Reid tree. But as I hate to be the doubter or to be that guy, but it was really hard for me to believe that Coach Reid was going to do that. So everybody talking about Kingsbury and Daboll and McDaniel and whatever, it just wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I don't have any inside knowledge, but seeing what this team, how they've built themselves and what Coach Reid does for this team, you knew it wasn't going to change. I saw yesterday on Pat McAfee, they had Bruce Arians on, former coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks, and was an offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. I mean, he worked with Roethlisberger, he worked with Andrew Luck, he worked with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady,
Carson Palmer, yeah. Arizona, yeah, man.
Right. So I mean, he's a guy, right? He's been around the league, and somebody said, "Well, what do you think about Eric Bieniemy back in Kansas City?" And he's like, "Well, don't get so caught up in those titles, all right? This is Andy Reid's offense. The offense ain't going to change. Andy's going to call the plays, and that's what what they're going to do." So even this guy's been around for 50 years coaching ball, and so Coach Reid.
I just think
that's what he does.
They're going to be more explosive, though, Lou. I hear what you're kicking, but the guy's going to be more explosive.
What is going to make them more explosive? What specifically can you point to?
Oh man, Eric Bieniemy.
What is he going to do specifically?
Make them sharper. Have them boys focused, them boys more dialed in.
Okay.
Because like we stated, if you look at his, like before he left, let's speak on the Super Bowls, how fun and exciting, how explosive they was, the attention to detail, right? He did everything he needed to do to put this team in the right position. Right.
Now the last two Super Bowl, even the second two Super Bowls they won, was the offense explosive? What is it? Was it that exciting? I mean, I think once Tyreek left, the explosive play, everything we talk about, the fireworks, this just kind of greatest show on grass or whatever you want to call it, they had to change, and they did change, and they scaled it back, and you didn't have these top end wide receivers, so they kind of had to make do with what they had, and it was very effective. There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not down on the results or Eric's involvement, but I don't know. I mean, unless you are of the mind that the scheme is fine, it's just that attention to detail and perhaps somebody being a little bit more forceful with their critiques of how they're running the particular plays.
I think to be honest with you though, Lou, like to be honest with
What's
you.
Up, Ruben? What's up,
DS
and everybody?
Yep, we know what Matt Nagy did under Andy Reid, and we can go back and forth about who called what, but the offense was stale, right? The offense was just stale. With EB on the other side, the offense wasn't stale. It was explosive. It was exciting, and I think nobody really talking about getting a running back. We wasn't talking about getting a running back this and doing this because everything was clicking. They were just coached up very well. We didn't even have these conversations.
I hear what Bruce Aaron is saying. I hear what Lou is saying. I hear what Dre saying. Like I said last time, it's about, you gotta have the band. You know what I mean? One person is missing out the band. Somebody leave. If Prince leave his band, the band ain't gonna be the same. They ain't got Prince under control. I'm not calling Eric B.M. and Prince. I'm just saying you got to have somebody who's gonna actually keep everything together. And
Joe Jackson.
And also, as you look at Matt Nagy, I thought he had a Tennessee job, and then Tennessee said no. So maybe he don't. Maybe he go be an offensive coordinator somewhere else, and maybe he just sit out this year because the offense was that bad this year. It was terrible. Now
we're getting caught up in these two guys. I mean, to me, it's just a bigger question of just the offense in general moving forward. Forget about who is in that position just for a second. Are we confident that the players they have are the ones that are going to make it explosive, make it more attention to detail? We have to be comfortable with that. And then what Coach Reid wants to do, is it still going to be effective? Now, he's always made changes throughout. They had to change the offense once Tyreek left. They changed it at least 2 or 3 times since he's gone. Now it's all there. I mean, you see what, the size of the playbook. Now they don't use them all, and they don't have the players to do a lot of those things. So they have to play to the players' strengths. And some of the younger guys, quite frankly, haven't stepped up. And I know I'm repeating myself, but the ones particularly in the skill positions. Now, again, you've had injury issues and things like that, but even when they've been healthy, those guys haven't developed to the point where you would have liked them by this time in their career. So there's a lot that goes into it. I hope that the accountability piece, it makes things that much better. But then also over the course of this time of year to when we get to OTAs, that Coach Reid is finding some different things that he wants to do, that one is a little fresher, and 2, that these players can run, right?
Well, I agree with that. I agree. I hear you on like position players to see if they, if they're going to change the scheme, if this is going to be the guys to actually get this team turned around. I think when they're looking at this, this draft and get some key guys to add in this room or free agency to add in this room to get this thing turned around, because we all can agree that the offense wasn't number one since Eric B.M. left. Correct? We all agree that, right? We all can agree.
I don't think it was ever number one when he was here. So
it was the stats was points wise. It was number one.
So if we honestly look at it, it's accountability that's been preached all season. And I agree with John. It's the accountability, because there wasn't none. This is not the Chiefs team we're used to. It wasn't. You didn't see foot and asses on the sideline. You didn't see none of this. You didn't see, like, we're complaining about an offense that was so potent when EB was there. We didn't even have this situation. So what John has stated, and like all season, there was complaining about lack of discipline, lack of this and lack of that. But now you got that. You got somebody that's going to hold guys accountable. It's going to hold guys accountable. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about.
Same players,
but different coach.
So that's what you have to be careful about, is to say, okay, if I can't see a coaching staff not holding guys accountable, but I can see a lack of experience on the staff to get guys to be better players.
Now, can I ask you this question?
That's what I'm saying in the wide receiver room. And again, I don't want to crap on Connor Embry all the time, but it really seems like the hire was bad, one. Two, almost like maybe a favor, and it was like, well, it's just the wide receivers. Yeah, it's just the wide receiver, but these wide receivers are kids coming out of college that need to be continually molded, and they have to improve.
Can I ask you this question, Lou?
Yeah.
Jalen Warriors, what you thought of Jalen Warriors when he came out to college? Did you thought that he'll be a contributor to this team?
Yes, I thought I had, like I've said it 100 times, I had him rated closely with Kyle Williams of New England and Torrey Horton of Seattle. I thought those were three very comparable dudes. And Torrey Horton had some success while he was healthy. Kyle Williams, when he's had opportunities, he's made some plays. Now they've got a bunch of receivers in New England, and they kind of rotate a lot. So it wasn't like he's getting a ton of snaps. But I think the fact that Jalen Royals wasn't able to get on the field, I mean,
that shows on coaching, right?
That's what I'm thinking is yes, because if the playbook or offense or the nuances of running routes and being able to read what defense, because a lot of times the routes are based on, there's a play call, but then if the defense does certain things, the route changes. And I'm thinking that's maybe where some of these guys are not necessarily confused, but they will run the route maybe the way the original play call was, but the defense changed. If you don't read that, you might be running straight into defense where Patrick might be expecting you to adjust and go somewhere else. So I don't know if they got to simplify that or just the fact that you have to get, and again, Chad O'Shea has been doing this for a long time. He's had professional wide receivers that have come along under him. So I hope that's a big difference with these guys.
Amari Cooper. Recently, what's his name? The kid from Cleveland. He was with the Broncos. What's
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy. And let's hear what Travis Kelce had to say about Eric Bieniemy coming back. Luke, go ahead.
All right, so here's Travis, and I'm guessing this is on their podcast. The band is getting back together. Yes, sir, folks. Travis Kelce on the return of Eric Bieniemy. I can't wait to see him back in the building, man. He's one of my favorite coaches of all time. That doesn't sound like it. This might be the editorial piece of this now. That doesn't sound like a man ready to retire, does it? Is this the EB effect at work? Oh my gosh.
Let me answer that again. I know we keep beating on the head while I keep doing it, guys. It's about the discipline, man. And what I didn't understand from the season was if you got in Thornton that's hot, you keep playing this guy. It came down to coaching. Because we always wondering if he's hot and he's getting open and he's being productive, why come he's not getting more opportunity? You know what I'm saying? It was like something ain't making sense right now. It really ain't making sense. You know what I'm saying?
Then you have Worthy. Then Worthy shown in college that, well, since I've seen him when he came out, he wasn't like a wide receiver that running out of bounds or didn't know how to adjust to the ball. That's why they drafted him. That's why they traded up to go get him. You know what I mean? To go get Xavier Worthy. It shows when they had this, these wide receiver coaches that only coach high school, then jumped to the NFL. And you know what I mean? The running back coaches wasn't that good. Now, if Eric Bieniemy come in and bring his own staff, bring his, that fire and accountability about guys running the right routes, guys hitting the right holes, seeing the right holes, lining up right on time, you know what I mean? Not jumping off sides, false penalties, and all this with Jawan Taylor. If he's gonna be that guy, like Travis Kelce saying, you know what I mean, you can't wait to see this guy back in the building. It seems like the guys want this guy. This is what they wanted. This is what they want, and this is what they was missing. And the younger guys can experience somebody like a Royals or like Josh Simmons and those type of guys. And also Bashard Smith. What can Bashard Smith be with EB? Yep. What can he be with EB? Can he be the guy that Lou actually saw? You know what I mean? Coming out, that we all saw, coming out of college, and Lou that was banging the drum for him. Can EB turn him around? You see what he did with the 7th round pick with Chicago, right? You see what he did out there, had this guy out there looking good. And now you get Bashard Smith. EB comes back here. Maybe that's what the Andy Reid is seeing. Like, I need a guy that's going to actually come here and hold these guys accountable. And bless his heart, Matt Nagy, we all love him. But hey, it showed, you know what I mean? It showed in the room, and it also showed on the field.
Well, they haven't. A couple of things. One, I mean, he hasn't put pen to paper yet, has he? Because it seems like everything. This is reported here. He's coming, all this other stuff, but there hasn't been a press conference yet saying that he's now the offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but I wonder if they'll also add running backs coach to his purview, not just kind of as the OC, but actually be the running backs coach, because they haven't brought one in yet. And I would think if he was able to do both, that would probably be a much better thing.
I think he's gonna do both, because they know what they're gonna do at number 9. Now I put out the mock draft out there. They know what they're doing at number 9. They're gonna go get the guy. That's what they're gonna do. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I think Lou, both y'all are right, because I believe he's he is the Chiefs, one of the Chiefs' best OCs in the Chiefs kingdom, right? And he's one of the greatest running back coaches, right? We're not going to have the all this getting this player, getting that player. You got a guy that's one of the best when it comes to coaching of running backs, right? Rashad Smith to me, I like him. And I know EB is going to get that man, going to put that man in the right position. I know he is. I know because he's one of the best to do it. So again, I'm not really worried about getting a running back, because we got one of the best running back coaches in the game.
Man, you see what he did with Adrian Peterson. When I first see EB, when I first start seeing him like coaching for real, when he was there was a Kareem Hunt on the sideline, he was like, "We're gonna feed your ass the rock over and over and over again." You know what I mean? And had Kareem Hunt coming out the backfield, looking good, catching routes, doing all this blocking. Kareem Hunt was amazing under an EB. I want to see what Bashard Smith looked like under EB as well. So go ahead and get to that question, Coach.
The comment was, he said they don't need Love if EB's coaching a guy. Hence, they'll probably draft a back 2nd and 3rd round. And honestly, I really do agree.
I don't want to hear that.
Because EB can coach these guys up, man. Like all it needs, the only thing the Chiefs are missing was a good coach, a good running back coach. And his pedigree. We know EB's pedigree, man. You know what I'm saying? So for real, I'm like, damn, we got one of the best running back coaches in the game. I'm not worried about that no more. I ain't worried about it, because he don't get these boys in the right position. So I'm not.
Well, I mean, there's good players, and then there's elite talent. So I mean, it depends on how you want to do it. And again, I mean, the coach's point, I would think, just because of the way Coach Reid wants to play, that they don't necessarily have to take a running back at number 9, right?
Right.
Now they could, if they're all of a sudden, we are going to really shift things, because if we're going to take a guy at 9, damn right, we are going to feed him whatever you said about Kareem Hunt, feed him the ball a lot until the wheels come off, kind of thing. Now, to me, you've got holes in other places. If you believe that, now again, we're kind of getting away with it from the conversation, but if you believe that one of those edge rushers is damn good, really good, and they fall to you, I think you almost have to take them, because if you look at the teams that are playing right now, they all have some badass defensive linemen and just overall defensive lines.
Yes, sir.
So, and the Chiefs really don't have that. Now, again, hopefully Omar Norman-Lott comes back and he lives up to where they expect him to be. Chris Jones finds his groove. and then you're probably gonna have to draft 2 of them. Hence, so to your point, maybe they go again back to back. If they can get Bailey or Bain at 9, and then with that 40th pick, screw it, we'll find a running back. Go ahead with R. Thomas from Oklahoma.
And you know what's
somebody
crazy,
else,
guys?
or anybody.
You know what's crazy? I just thought about something. Now that EB's there, and you know he's one of the great running back coaches. Do you really need to go running back with your first pick? Now we can focus more on defense, right? Focus more and get a defensive line together because you got EB, and I know he's gonna coach them boys up well.
Not necessarily you need it. I think it's just a choice. I mean, do you want a guy? And again, I mean, I'm sure there's other feature backs that'll end up in this draft, but none of them right now give you the overall rating that this kid is a top 10 player in any draft. Right? Or he has that kind of ability. Do you want to go all in on something like that? Or like Coach, you're saying, again, regardless of who the running back coach is, if you have a really good one and you feel that you can do that and you can have like 2 or 3 guys and you rotate them, and that was kind of Ben Johnson's thing in Detroit. Same thing in Chicago. 2 guys.
2 ahead of monster.
Montagna, a little bit more between the tackles, a little bit tough, and then DeAndre Swift, kind of, the home run hitter. Whereas in Detroit, you had Gibbs, and
so you get Jeremiah
Love,
Montgomery. You got Jeremiah Love. You have Smith, 2-headed monster.
So do you? I say I know what you're saying, boy. You want Jeremiah Smith going to first, but let's say you go defense, you can still get a decent running back in a second.
I don't think Ruben Bain is that good. I can see everybody saying he's that. He playing with a tough offense. He playing with a loaded defense. Now, I like RMT, you know what I mean? R. Mason Thomas, you know what I mean? The kid I like, he's doing that by himself over there. Now, if I see Ruben Bain was by himself,
being disrespectful to the other 3 guys on that defensive line.
But I'm just saying, like I'm just saying, like if Ruben Bain was by himself, do you think Ruben Bain would be causing havoc?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that boy. Hey, his pressure package. That's your
opinion.
His pressure package is different, boy. I watched that.
I'm watching him play. I'm not looking at stats or whatever. I'm just watching just the explosive athlete that he is, the strength that he has, the speed that he has, the different types of moves that he has. Again, now you can certainly coach that, but if you're already working with that, is he going to be, Myles Garrett? No, nobody in this draft is going to be Myles Garrett. I don't care.
Then why you take him?
What's that?
Then why you wait? If he's not going to be Myles Garrett, then why you wasting your time?
Well, you got to wait 10 years if you're going to wait to take somebody that's like Myles Garrett. You got to.
Ruben Bain is not that guy. You heard it.
Wait, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Remember, I do stats too, and I did watch it. I watched 22 live though. Hence, I watched 22 live that game in the big game. He was working that side, bro. They couldn't stop Ruben Bain for real. They couldn't stop him.
Man, I see one. I see one guy crash a whole game. He set out the whole second. He set out the first half and came in the second half and just crashed and wrecked the whole freaking game. And that's RMT. That's one guy I see in this.
Ruben Bain got 68 hurries, bro.
Ruben Bain
hurries, bro. You know what that means?
Ruben Bain. Who was the other guy to Ruben Bain? Who's the other guy on side of Ruben Bain?
Massador.
Right. Who's the D tackle that's in the middle? They got D tackles.
You got Mutant. You got Massador.
What I'm saying is, hey. I know everybody said Ruben Bain because Mark Hyper said it. This person said it.
Nah, it's what the eyes can see, boy. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm looking at him. I'm telling you, I said it a long time ago. I told it to Luke. I said he's giving me Brendan Speaks. When he reached the NFL, he probably Brendan Speaks. I'm just saying. But other than that,
Breland Speaks was never this good in college.
I'm just saying.
Hell no, man. Hell no. Hey, man, listen, bro.
Again, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you watch that first game of the season when they played Notre Dame, it was obvious he was the best player on the field, and I'm including Jeremiah Love that night. Ruben Bain was the best player.
Jeremiah Love stiffed on him, jumped over his next player, and scored a touchdown. Ruben Bain is not that guy, guys.
Ruben Bain was the best player on the field that night. So, and it's gone from there. So, I mean, I guess, okay, you don't like him. That's fine. You're allowed to not like him, but then turn around, but tell him that he's not a good player. He's not this. He's not that. Well, okay.
He's a good player.
I think you're taking it personally. And like, this is my guy, and my guy is the best, and everybody else sucks.
It's not personal.
And if he's not wearing the gold jacket on my list, forget him. These are the guys.
I'm not saying that, Lou. All I'm saying is
it certainly sounds that way.
Hey, Lou, I'm with you, Lou.
All I'm saying, guys. All I'm saying is, guys. Hey, I don't think. I see
either way. I think we started out talking about running backs and coach.
Let me finish. You're not gonna just throw me on the line like that. What I'm saying is, I think R. Mason Thomas. If you look at his tape, you can add that up. He was up there with David Bailey before he got hurt. He was up there with Ruben Bain and all those guys before he got hurt. He's doing that by himself in Oklahoma, by himself. Not R. Mason Thomas or
the rest of his line mates.
I'm just saying, he's causing rabbits by himself. So
he only had 6 sacks this year.
All right, so you're gonna So listen, you're cutting his you're cutting him down as a prospect because he plays with good players. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm just saying, if I want to see him, I can't wait to see the Senior Bowl. I want to see him do it by himself.
All right. Well, to his credit, he and some of his Miami teammates who just played a national championship game have elected to go to the Senior Bowl.
I know they're gonna be all there with him, so he's never gonna know.
Did we? I don't know. Did you think Joe Burrow was like a scrub because he was playing with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase at LSU?
That's a good point, though.
You never seen him without him, right?
I'm just saying.
That's a good point. You never seen him without those guys.
Jefferson has never played with him at Cincinnati. Chase has missed some games now. Again, I mean, everybody on the field. It's an 11 guys are on the field at the same time. Everybody has to rely on somebody else. Nobody is out there doing it alone. No matter what he tells you about the gold jacket guy, R. Mason Thomas being like the Hulk.
All right, I'm gonna screenshot this, and when R. Mason Thomas come out wrecking the NFL, I'm gonna say, guys, man, y'all want an alligator orange. Y'all want an alligator orange.
He's another player in the draft. And
let's just stick in y'all spirit. Look at the quarterback hurries, man. Look, Akeem Massendur with 50 hurries. Ruben Bain got 68 hurries, and then your boy Mason Thomas got 19 hurries. Now, which one is dominant, bro? Like what are we talking about?
By himself. Put him with that. I bet you put him on that Miami offensive line.
That's an excuse.
I bet you put him on the Miami offensive line. I bet you put him on the Miami line. He's gonna cause more havoc than alligator orange Ruben Bain. So what they say? What you have for us next?
He's probably going to be like the 3rd or 4th pick in the draft anyway. I think Akeem Massendur probably going to be a little bit later in the 1st round. I think the age will knock him down a little bit. Now again, it just depends on who is drafting. A lot of teams will just look at that fact and say, hey, we're not going to have him for as long, whatever. So he gets knocked down a little bit. David Bailey, he could go before that. So the Chiefs may be sitting there with a choice of one of the wide receivers, Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, some other prospects. And then it's up to them. What are they going to do? So it's just the only thing that makes me think that they're not going to take Jeremiah Love in the top 10. One, he could certainly be gone before then too. But I think they feel comfortable enough with a not so dominant running back because they're going to split it up between 2 or 3 guys. We don't have to have, a Bijan Robinson type to run the offense we want to run. Hey, maybe Jadarian Price ends up being that guy and we can get him in the 2nd or 3rd round, right? And we can also add this edge rusher we like, or this, maybe generational safety that we like. Which, again, we'll see, but that's all down the road.
Bang. I hope they do draft Bang because he ain't gonna be.
Hey, Robert Saleh is the coach now. He's going to want to beef up that defense, man. All gas, no brakes, baby. All right, gang. So Wednesdays from now until, I don't know, maybe the draft. We'll see how this goes. But I am introducing Lou's red dot players. You asked Lou, what is a red dot player? Well, a red dot player, typically not going to be a first or second round pick, but somebody you are going to mark on the board with a red dot saying, we need to go get that guy, right? And the first one for this week is going to be wide receiver Ted Hurst from Georgia State. Before this, you see some video here of him playing in the red zone there, high point in the ball. Georgia State, he had transferred before that from Valdosta State. Now, I'm pretty sure that's where Jody Fortson went to school, too. He's not quite as big as Jody Fortson, but 6'3", 185. He was first team all Sun Belt in 25, second team in 24, over 1,000 yards last year, 70 some odd catches. So that's the stats. He's a productive player, so we'll just leave it at that. Projected to run in the 4.4s, maybe 4.5. But explosive first step, very versatile. You can play him inside, you can play him outside, tracks the ball really well, contested catches, all that's in his bag. Some of the things that he probably needs to work on is sometimes the press coverage can kind of get to him. You don't see it.
Ted Hurst.
You don't see a ton of press at this level, right? Especially playing in the Sun Belt. So he gets some free releases. So that every college receiver has that on them, but also needs to improve with those releases and add some strength. Like I said, he's 6'3", but he's only 185. He could certainly put 10 pounds on earlier under the frame. I don't think he's going to lose any speed. Some people are comping him to George Pickens. I don't know if I would go that far, but that's the comp that's out there. And again, like George, because they're so gifted, a lot of times there's a lack of concentration, and maybe they're looking upfield before they can, they catch the damn ball. So that's something he's gonna need to do. But anyways, all the traits, probably a mid-round guy. I'm thinking like late 4th to 6th round. But like I say, if he adds 10 pounds, gets a decent wide receiver coach, works his ass off, he's got a chance to be a damn good player in the NFL. But Ted Hurst, I'm pretty sure he will be participating in the Senior Bowl coming up here next week. So check him out. Again, it's Ted Hurst, wide receiver, Georgia State.
Hey, to piggyback off what you just said, though, Lou, he's averaging about. I'm just saying, because that's the guy before the show. I said I was going to bring up Ted Hurst. Also, I had Bryce Lance. Ted Hurst to me it may be a steal in the draft. Maybe a good steal in the draft, man, because he got to be.
Do you think it'd be Puka, that Puka type of?
Yeah, he can be. Yes.
Well, totally different player. I mean, Puka is more like almost like a running back in a wide receiver's body, because he is just a really explosive athlete. He may not have the straight line speed that Hurst has, but he's certainly fast enough.
He got the high point, Luke. He can high point. He got some agility. Like you said, they don't play a lot of press, but he can get by. He can't fly by. You know what I'm saying? He got good concentration. I like him, man. He can be polished. You know what I'm saying? With a good coach, with a good coach, he should be okay with a good coach, man.
Yeah, so as far as the Chiefs are concerned, they may take a wide receiver early, and this will be a moot point for the Chiefs. Yep. But if they don't take a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds, and they're sitting there in the 6th round, and he's still out there, I think that would be a great pick.
And Lou, remember, and he's a workhorse, man. He was a leading target with 125 targets. He's a leading guy, so he can't be the workhorse. He can't be the workhorse. He got that in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the kid, but Lou said he's going to be George Pickens. You know what I mean? Dre said maybe going to be.
No. The comp is George Pickens. I'm not saying he's going to be George Pickens. That's what I said. I don't know if I'm with that yet. Because of maybe the level of ball he's playing at. Pickens didn't play as much, but he was certainly at the big school in Georgia for the Dogs. Georgia State, the Sun Belt isn't quite it, but you can find players everywhere, and there's he's got a chance. I'm not going to put that label on him.
You know what, Lou? You know what sucks about these schools, these conferences, man? Is some guys is out there on conferences that are dominating. They are playing exceptionally well, playing at a high level. But just because they don't go,
they better be, or otherwise they won't get
exactly.
drafted. I mean, that's
so if they do play at a high level, sometimes we'll say, well, he's not that good compared to a guy from SEC or ACC. I'm like, well, I would agree with it again. I mean, if I am dominating this conference,
well, again, that's where you get into trouble just looking at stats, because again, to kind of project, can this guy play at the next level? It's the explosion. It's the different things that the 3-cone drills, the quickness, that sort of thing, the overall straight line speed. So you are going to have some guys that will overachieve. But if you see, like when Randy Moss was at Marshall, anytime you watch them, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's just laughable. It's a men playing among boys.
Right.
But you knew he was running 4.3 or less.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that he's 6'4". I mean, all the measurables were there and everything else. So some guys will just jump out at you. But the thing is, I mean, he was also formerly, was supposed to go to Florida State, got kicked out of there, was supposed to go to Notre Dame, got something happened there, and then ends up playing at Marshall because he's from West Virginia. But everybody's got a story. You got to look at each guy as an individual.
That's why they comp him to George Pickens. You know what I mean? That's why he probably got
the size. Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Hey, real quick, both y'all, Lou says, I get the stats, and you was like, let's go to the cone drill. Hence, you say, Macedon, like Ruben Bain ain't this because you want to see him go in the Senior Bowl, going against elite talent, going against elite tackles. So basically, what y'all trying to say is this: I like the stats, but we want to see what you can do individually. That's what y'all make y'all assumptions on.
The knock on Ruben Bain.
I don't think there's any assumptions. Every part that you touched on is a part of the evaluation. So not only do you want to see him dominate in games, you want to see him be productive, not necessarily base it completely on stats, but then you also want what kind of athlete is this? Right?
So I'm gonna ask you a question before we move on, because we got. But if Ruben Bain, if the Chiefs does draft Ruben Bain, Chris Jones not in there, and George Karlaftis not starting, do you think this guy can wreck a game by himself?
I believe so.
Think he can wreck an NFL game by himself? Not without Chris Jones, without George Karlaftis, without no help. Can he wreck this game by himself?
I've comped him to Jared Verse, and if I could get Jared Verse right now, I would take him in a heartbeat.
I don't think he can wreck a game by himself.
Well, hence, I mean, you go like to these extremes. I mean, you're going to like these extremes. Like there's 10 guys like that, and he's not one of them. Who is that? Who in this draft do you believe that can wreck a game by themselves somehow?
I see the kid from Mizzou, Xavier. I think
no.
I think he can wreck a game. I'm just saying, I think he can wreck a game by himself. Okay. I see Art Mason Thomas. I think he can wreck a game by himself. Ruben Bain, you know what I mean? I seen him with all the talent. I'm just saying, I got to see more. I want to see more.
I put Young. I'll put Young over Thomas. I'll put Young over Thomas,
and that's fine. And that's fine, but I would just, again, I the thing you like about the Senior Bowl is that it's the best.
I'm not the only one seeing that.
It's the best against the best, and you're going to see how they compete, right? I mean that's a big part of it. So that's what really impressed me about these Miami players. They had every excuse in the world to say, you know what. I don't have it. I don't think it's going to be a good week for me down there.
Well, I watched Miami. That. I know everybody crucified Dre on the internet. When I watch Miami, Dre guy shows more up than Ruben Bain to me on tape when I'm watching all 22. I'm seeing him get there first. I'm seeing him crash to the line first before even Ruben Bain is getting cleaned up sacks most of the time. Now everybody want to say, Ruben Bain this, Ruben Bain's that. Do you think Ruben Bain's the best player in this goddamn draft? If not, don't just sit there and just say I'm gonna grab this guy because
Well, they don't have the first pick, Hense, so you can't just say the best player in the draft.
Do you think he's the best player?
If you
do
have
you think he's the best player?
Who?
Do you think Ruben Bain the best player in this draft?
No.
Okay. You, Dre?
They're picking at 9. I don't know if you've noticed, but like everything you post tells us that the Chiefs are picking number 9. So the odds of them getting the best player at 9 is going to be tough.
I'm not talking about the Chiefs. I'm just saying, do you think he's the best player out there?
So based on performance, big game performance, I think he showed who he is in that game against Indiana. And Indiana had one of the best offensive lines in college. And he went against the offensive line that second half, and he wrecked shop. He was wrecking it. He had Mendoza running to his right the whole time. He was in the backfield. Tackle for losses. He was in the backfield, bro. I watched that game play for play, bro. Play for play.
Hense,
have Mendoza running out the pocket, bro. Like what?
Hense,
what are you trying to look at, bro?
Hense, in your opinion, when you watch the All 22, you seem to have all the answers and just the magical. These are the guys. Oh, I get that. I would have the courage in my convictions as well. But you also have to leave room for the fact that other people see the game a little differently, and maybe their opinions are there too.
I don't think Lou. I don't think Bo watching. I don't think Bo watching. I think he was half asleep. I think he was half asleep.
Whatever.
He was half asleep.
I went back and watched the game. I went back and watched the game.
22.
Ruben,
I know what he's saying.
I watched the All 22 anyway.
You didn't watch that. You didn't watch the game, did you? You didn't watch it.
Yes, I did. I did watch the game.
Did you get that necklace yet?
That's right. But
all 22, and just I mean, just get it tattooed to your chest.
What I'm trying to say, guys. What I'm trying to say is,
we know what you're saying.
No, Drake just asked me a question. Drake said,
all right,
did I watch the game with Mendoza? Mendoza was, okay, we know you come in here, bow. It was like you want somebody to wreck a game like Hunter or Myles Garrett or Chris Jones in his prime or Aaron Donalds. You want those type of guys that's going to actually wreck the game.
But you are picturing these guys as NFL players versus when they were in college. None of those guys were that good. Go look at Myles Garrett's stats if you would at Texas A&M, right? Mm-hmm. The numbers aren't. I mean, it's not like Derek Thomas had 27 sacks his senior year at Alabama, which is just the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard.
That's what I'm getting to.
Don't see that happens like once every 25 years. You're not going to find that.
Okay, that's what I'm arguing here.
This is what we're dealing with. You have to evaluate what's in front of you because they're the ones that are in this draft. If you start comparing everybody to guys Myles Garrett is a Hall of Fame player. Was he that at Texas A&M? No, but he had all the physicals straight.
Lou, I'll just say all I'm saying is, Lou, is if you ain't getting that type of if Love showed that Love showed that this college career. He almost won the Heisman, right? He almost won the Heisman.
Ruben Bain and particularly close, but yeah, he was up there for it. Yeah.
Was Ruben Bain up there for it? I don't think so. I don't think his name wasn't drawn up.
How many defensive linemen have ever been in the Heisman finalists? Why even bring that up? That's just stupid. That's a gratuitous thing to say to help your argument, and that's it.
You want those type of guys. You want golden jacket guys like a Derek Thomas. You want a Derek Thomas out there. You want that. And I don't see that in a Ruben Bain. I do see that in R. Mason Thomas, though. I do see that R. Mason Thomas.
Okay. All right.
So wait. So you telling me, and I went back and watched the highlights, and I watched a couple of little segments of R. Mason Thomas. Like, the man got a burst. You got to go burst, but he don't wreck shop like Ruben do.
Oh, come on, man. Stop it.
He don't wreck shop.
I will agree with you on one thing, is that the difference between the guys that you're taking at the top isn't it that great between the guys that look like might go a little bit later in the first round.
That's all I'm saying.
Early second.
No,
no, you're not. Because if you were saying that, you would have said it.
That's all I'm saying, man.
Hey, Dame said, hold on, love isn't Barry Sanders either, Hense. Yeah. He said love isn't Barry Sanders either, Hense.
Right. So here's the thing. You have to evaluate each guy individually, right, and you have to evaluate them in relation to the rest of the guys in this draft. True. It's hard to say that, well, you got to find a guy like Derek Thomas. How many of those come along? Is there somebody like that in this draft? No way. There just isn't.
It is.
And if there is, you have no idea of knowing it based on what we've seen so far.
I tell people that and on social media, nobody knows this thing. We don't predict the future. We don't. It's like Wheel of Fortune, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I'm trying to tell you.
Every pick you look at, bro. We can say this guy. Hey, we can say this guy's this guy.
Luke, I'm gonna tell you
to the game. Stuff can change, man.
I'm gonna tell you this, Luke. This how they did me when I said Patrick Mahomes was better than Deshaun Watson when he was coming out. I got crucified just like this. I was getting told all kind of stuff. I was getting told, Hense, be quiet. I was getting told the world worst end. Drake, you know that. You know that. Everybody was telling the same thing.
Because you were walking by One Arrowhead Drive every night and you saw and you know Veach was talking a little louder than he should have been. It's like, yeah, that's the guy we want.
I think, man. I stand my ground on that note. I stand my ground.
But yeah, stand your ground, Dan. But speaking of Patrick Mahomes, we've seen a lot of guys in this playoff. You know, that didn't panned out very well. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. Do that shows you that it's that gap that can we stop that narrative of Josh Allen this is greater than Patrick Mahomes, he's more talented than Patrick Mahomes, he's this, he's that. Can we just stop that and just say it's just him? It's just him. He's him. Patrick Mahomes is him. Nobody else is comparing to Patrick Mahomes. Nobody else should be in the shoes or in the spotlight of Patrick Mahomes. Maybe you can probably say if Drake May goes and win his, this ring, maybe you can say, okay, Drake May got a lot to say. Maybe if Jalen Hurts have a little to say because he got a ring on Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to hear no more Joe Burrows. I don't want to hear no more Josh Allens. I don't want to hear no more Lamar Jacksons. I don't want to hear those guys' names anymore. This guy was out of the playoffs, out. Now y'all can't get it done. Do you agree with that narrative got to stop, Luke? Do you agree that the narrative had to stop?
This is what I can definitely say about Patrick. He's definitely head and shoulders above them when it comes to playing playoff football. I don't think there's any question about that. Each of those guys is very talented and can look spectacular at times. And sometimes, nearly unstoppable. And that's like Josh Allen a lot. Have they been able to do that consistently in the playoffs? Not really, right? I mean, none of them have been able to really, take their teams to the heights that Patrick has. So from that perspective, no, I mean, you can't say it, but they do have talent. They do put up numbers in the regular season. They have won playoff games at different times. But as far as Patrick just be playoff football, I don't think there's anyone, I don't know about it, in history that you'd rather have in playoff games quarterbacking your team, right? I mean, Montagna did his thing and was pretty clutch. There's certain guys that you can certainly say that. Brady, sure. But in this particular era, it's not particularly close. But again, I mean, you can certainly make arguments at different times that particular guy is very talented, is doing very well. I mean, it's the same thing. If you look at like basketball history and so forth, you have plenty of guys that, all greatly talented, play great, at times and play really well and even into the playoffs. But there's certain guys that just are able to win and somehow drag their teams, no matter how bad they're playing, across the finish line. And we've seen it several times. So in that respect, no one's close.
I'm gonna say this right now, as far as the accolades of Patrick Mahomes, yes, but we're talking about like Tom Brady's and what Tom Brady had, the weapons he had around him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have no top offensive coordinator. Man, he was going out there playing with. Here
we go again. This guy's playing by himself, and all his teammates suck.
Think about it.
He must have been great.
But if you look at how Brady was, Lou, all time great in the playoffs. There's nothing like Brady. Even in his last hoorah, he almost beat Stafford. But if you look at Joe Montana, man, Joe Montana is clutch in the playoffs. Like you said, I would have nobody. I would have Joe Montana. Montana is a dog. I'll have John Elway. John Elway was a dog. You know, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but he took him to the Super Bowl. You know, if we're looking at from right now, from this era right now, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes. Like Joe Burrow, out of that whole class, Joe Burrow was the only quarterback that actually beat Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But besides that,
Brady
always Pat Mahomes. Huh?
Brady did as well.
Oh, yeah.
Brady did as well.
Yeah, he did. He beat him AFC Championship and beat him in the Super Bowl. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, as far as like the young Titans,
I think that's where we were going with this thing. If you looked at the pictures, it was
like
the current group.
Yeah, because I heard you was going on about some, you know, the Montanas and you know what I'm saying.
No, I get. Well, what I was talking, I was talking about it in terms of just
exactly
how he elevates his team in the playoff, where you never felt like they were out of a game, regardless, just because somehow this guy is going to do something. He's going to make a play. He's going to will his guys. He's going to keep them in these games where they're behind. Right. And it's very easy to say it just wasn't our day, and he just ain't having it. And I've said it 100 times. The over my dead body games where he just elevates everyone.
Exactly. So if we're talking about,
and especially these playoffs, you've seen a lot of sloppy football and a lot of turnovers. Exactly. And you know, Josh Allen, I mean, that arguably the worst. I mean, even though he kind of kept them in that game and had them in the game, but for a referee's call, maybe it goes the other way. They kick the field goal, and maybe McDermott's still coaching the team and everything else. But he also did put the ball on the ground and a couple picks. And Stroud, CJ Stroud. I don't know what that dude needs a psychologist because the last two games, I even texted one of my friends because we had a pretty significant wager on the Houston against Pittsburgh. And that game was like 7-6 the whole way. And I said, if I was one of CJ Stroud's teammates, I just go slap him right now. Or what's the coach doing? Put Davis Mills in.
I'm gonna give you one better. They
talked about it openly on the telecast.
They did. They said
against New England.
Him out. Hey, listen. They said take out Stroud and put the backup in because the defense are playing at a high level. That's
whatever. You certainly
it doesn't
don't
make sense.
You don't have to win the game. Certainly, you don't want to lose it.
Lou, he's underthrowing, he's overthrowing. I said, bro, I'm like, you know what? He's a bust. I'm gonna say it. CJ's a bust.
That was your guy, though. It was your guy.
But I'm gonna call him out. He was a bust.
I said Jalen Daniels. You said CJ Stroud. I'm just saying.
Well, those are two different years, but okay.
But hold on.
CJ.
I'm just trying to start up some stuff.
Going back.
CJ came out with Bryce Young, but
right. So going back to the topic, though. Going back to like we talking about Josh Allen. Joe Burrow beat Josh Allen, right? He beat Josh Allen, right? He went there and he beat Pat Mahomes to get to the Super Bowl,
right?
When we talking about guys that playing efficient football, when it counts, it has to be Joe Burrow because when he do go to the playoffs, he go to the AFC championships. You know what I'm saying? He always go to the championship. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the only guy to me that's really like their rival with Patrick Mahomes is Joe Burrow. Josh Allen to me, the reason why I put Joe over Josh because Josh never got over the hump to get to the big dance.
He would never get over a hump. Would you say all those guys you named? What out of all those guys? Justin Herbert, you know what I mean? Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. This was their year to get it done. And when Mahomes returned back healthy and ever, and with a rebuilt offense, do you think they can ever get it done? Do you think they will ever see
every one of those teams that they were on had like some significant deficiencies?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether Cincinnati with just a horrible defense,
right,
injuries, whatever. And again, everybody's going to have different things happen to them during the course of the year. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And I don't know what the hell's going on in Baltimore, but for them, they walk away from, coach that's been there for 18 years. Hey, it's time for a change. I get it. All right. So we'll see how they come back from that. Josh Allen, some people are just, it's just not going to happen for them. I mean, how many years did Peyton Manning was like beating his head against the wall against Brady until finally they broke through and beat them, in a championship game. So it'll be interesting to see where this thing goes. I think
then you fired McDermott, then you fired him. So now
the Chargers is an interesting case. We'll see. This is kind of it. I mean, Justin Herbert probably going to be the next couple of years. They've hired, or at least it looks like they're going to hire
McDaniel,
one of the top two coordinator, head coach on the market. I think that'll help. And when they get their tackles back, once Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, if those guys are healthy next year, that's going to be a much different football team. Mm-hmm. So we'll see about Herbert. But again, I mean, he's just had his struggles in the playoffs, and some people just aren't built for that. And most people are not. That's why there's such a few number of guys that you point to and say they were just different.
And I'm going to say this, man. CJ Stroud to me is a bust. Until I see otherwise, he's a bust. Because ain't no way you played that bad. That defense, that's a championship defense, man. That defense kept them boys in the game, man. If we had a better quarterback, they win that game. They win that game, man. But
even just him not turning it over, I mean, that was just it. Hey, just turn around and hand the ball off. We'll be okay. But short fields, pick six.
Come on, man. They in their 50. They had everything. It's right there.
And that's the thing. For now, this is this his third season or fourth?
I want to say
either way, it's like they keep pointing back to God.
Lou, did he elevate Lou?
If he could just play the way he did when he was a rookie, right? I mean, God, if we could just get back to that, and we'll see. I mean,
hey, Lou. I'm gonna tell you this, Lou, real quick, Lou. I'm gonna tell you what it is, Lou. Remember that sophomore slump. It's always that once the defenses start to figure you out. They're starting to figure out who you are. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, not always. Some guys,
not always, but if you look at it though, I believe that the defensive coordinator started to figure out CJ Stroud.
I mean, you get
to figure them out, man.
You get like 6, 8 games, 10 games, 16, 17 games of tape on somebody. Sure, you're going to make adjustments. I mean, every team in the league did it against the Chiefs, and that's why. Again, that's part of the other reason that the offense isn't as explosive is that the defense is like, hey, we're going to dare you to kill us by 1,000 cuts. We're not going to let you throw over the top. We're not going to let you, we'll dare you to run the ball.
They said no more bombs over Baghdad. They said no more bombs over Baghdad.
So then the Chiefs adjusted and they're like, okay, fine. Patrick can play this more short, controlled passing game. And then he figured that out. And okay. So there's always going to be adjustments. And then you have to be able to adjust as a player, as a coaching staff, and everything else. Some guys do, some guys don't. But hence, I would just say those guys are still. I mean, when we look back on this era, and I said the thing to my daughter today, she goes, "I was really surprised that the Bills fired their coach," and I listed off about 10 other things, and then I pointed to this, she had made me this thing, Patrick Mahomes or whatever. I point over to that. There's the culprit right there. That's why these guys, these quarterbacks come under fire. That's why these coaches are getting fired. That's why there's all this chaos. It seems like, and everybody's just like, what do we do?
After I seen Josh Allen crying, You know what I mean? Seen him crying in the locker room. And I ain't faulting for a cry because, you know what I mean? He probably known that, it was done. The coach was done. But it's no returning from that. You know what I mean? It's no returning. Yeah, the guy, when Patrick Mahomes come back, what else can you do? You know what I mean? What else can you do? Because when this guy come back from the crack helmet, the surgeries and everything else, and you got a proven offensive line, they're gonna be like this guy. They're gonna be that old, still trying to chase the ring.
Man. What do you? That's Steve Buscemi. I mean, that's an all-time character actor. I mean, the guy's one of the best.
I'm just saying they're gonna be like him. They're gonna be like, I still trying to get it done and still chasing.
Tarantino makes a movie, Buscemi's in it. Martin Scorsese makes a movie, Buscemi's in there. I mean, come on.
That's gonna be Josh Allen, still trying to chase a ring. Because I think it's done, man. I think the Buffalo will win on his clothes. If you look at the Chargers, you still don't know because they still they dealt with injuries, but Lamar Jackson, it's rumors out there they probably get traded to the Raiders or this and that. But
there are some stories floating out. People are floating it out there. Now let's not get into this.
So basically, it's some stuff floating, but it's not sticking.
Where the team is actually now again, it could be one of those situations that maybe he doesn't want to sign another long-term deal, but they have to do something because his contract right now is much like Patrick's. His cap number the next 2 years is $74.5 million. They are not going to go into next season with that cap number. So if for some reason they can't come to another deal, and it's really hard to negotiate with Lamar, he doesn't have an agent, and it took them 2 or 3 years to get the first one done. They got to get something done like this off season so they can actually do business during the off season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
See what Patrick Mahomes said. Look, boy, you know that this is my block. This is my corner.
Well, I don't think anybody's arguing this. Hense, were you just bored today?
Well. I think Pat got kicked off his block.
We haven't devoted 45 minutes to Patrick Mahomes in some time. So what the hell? Let's go.
I'm just saying, when we return, we gotta have this team.
Bring back the glaze hose.
When he return, he got to have his his firepower around. Now I threw out there, Brennan Ayuk. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'll be looking to try to bring him in. To see what they can work out to get him in this building. You know what I mean? You go get a Kyle Pitts. You got the offensive line. We all can agree the offensive line will be, I think they'll be just fine. We know, if everybody healthy. Then you got EB coming back. You got a proven wide receiver coach. Everybody better watch out. I'm saying. When Mahomes' turn comes back, everybody will watch out. If they do this draft, if Brett Veach do this draft right, everybody better be looking at.
Let's say if the guys that are selected live up to what they feel their evaluation is, then I think things will go pretty well. But that's why I say I think offensively you would like to see a wide receiver emerge. Do you have the patience to wait for the guys that you already have in the building, or do you go out? Because again, if they go out and get a Brandon Ayuk, which I'd really like to know what the hell's going on with him in San Francisco. The whole video of him driving by the stadium and then GoPro and just doing weird stuff and not showing up and not wanting to show up. Do you really want a guy like that on your team? I don't care how good he is.
I thought about that too, because it comes out on your Brown.
But I hear what you're saying. Somebody like that, somebody that can be kind of like that alpha in the wide receiver room. Do we think that Rashee Rice is that guy? I don't think. I mean, there's been a total lack of maturity to him to this point. I'm not saying that that's him. That's always going to be him. But is he ready to be the leader of that group? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. Certainly not going to be Xavier at this point. He just doesn't seem like that guy. He just seems like a really great guy to have in the locker room. Nice kid, the whole thing, and can be a great player. But I don't know that he's going to be that alpha dog either. So that's where I agree with you. Where do you find that guy? Is there a guy that you see at the top of the draft that might have those qualities? But then you're relying on a rookie coming in to be that guy. So yeah, you hope you can find a veteran that's got some juice, not just be the dog in the locker room, but actually be able to make plays on the field and be like the lead dog. And then everything Rasheed and Xavier does is gravy, right? So
maybe a George Pickens if Cowboys don't sign him, but I think they probably would do.
Yeah, George's agent is going to have a lot of leverage here. I mean, that's if they let him walk. Again, I think the free agent tag for the wide receiver, I think, is less than $30 million a year. If he hits the open market, they're going well above 35 million. I'm guessing closer to 40 million per year. Chiefs aren't doing that. I don't even know if they can. And if they did, that would be the only move they can make. And I don't know that's going to be enough. So,
well, we'll see. But yeah, we got Factor Cap coming up on Friday, guys. We want to thank you guys for joining in. Nick took the day off. You know what I mean? And also, hey, draft boards are draft boards. Love them or hate them. But hey,
there again. Let's make the distinction again, Hense. We've got draft boards and we've got mock drafts, right?
I call them draft boards. I've been calling draft boards.
So the draft. Well, I just want to kind of delineate because the board is how you have them stacked, right? Whether it be by position, overall, whatever. But that's just kind of everybody stacked, or maybe the top 100 or 200, however many you want to put on there. The mock draft is just that simulation where, okay, I'm going to pick guys from my board to put in here based on how they come off. Now, the only thing is, unless you've got like 31 other people to come over and simulate an entire draft and everybody has their own team that they're drafting for, we go by whatever the simulator gives us. So a lot of times, some of these guys that are sitting there screaming at you to pick them, you're thinking, ain't no way in hell this guy's going to be available. But come on, you're a human being. I want that guy. So you put him in your draft. So for those of you out there that are saying, this is the worst mock draft I've ever seen, I love this mock draft. So yeah, okay. I mean, they're players that you know that you like. Hey, you picked my guys, so I like that one. Coach, you didn't pick any of my guys. That draft sucks. No way is that going to happen. But
boy, man, come on.
Everybody stacks it a little bit differently.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
That's all it is. There is different. It's
not different. Everybody can draft a kicker, a punter, a long snapper, and get away with it.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me, Lucas. Shit, I thought about doing this shit again. Yeah, man.
Well, we want to thank everybody for supporting us, man, and resharing all our stuff. Like Lou said a while back ago, we are the four guys in the bar. Nick, not four guys in the bar, the guys at Chiefs Blitz, Nick, me, and Lou, and Coach Andre Tillman.
One team, one dream.
One team, one dream.
One team, one dream.
We want to thank everybody for joining in, guys, and we'll see you guys Friday with Factor Cat.
Appreciate you all. Peace.
All right, guys.
Loyal to the team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz Podcast, where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late.